Blue balls.
I can't believe the robots are dead.
I don't
It's
care.
okay. It's okay too. It's okay.
Look, let me just tell you this. I don't care. I don't care. The writing failed to make me care. I don't
Good.
care.
Thank you.
Yes, I dare. Why don't you actually?
It's okay, guys. Look, we
What?
just freed Jiro.
Yay.
Yeah, that's another thing. The dungeon
Oh wait,
aspect
it won't
is
open.
nowhere- Oh, that's right. I forgot. We have.
An actual dungeon.
Here's the fun. Yeah, that's another thing, by the way. In order to escape this dungeon, we kind of have to make a light bulb puzzle. That you don't worry, you'll be seeing it in this part.
Do you mean light bulb as in Eureka kind of light bulb, or a
No,
literal
no.
light
Okay,
bulb?
okay. Let me rephrase that. Light bulb color matching. And no, before you ask it,
The book was trying to get you for the gate.
And before you ask, no, we don't get any pick rats for it.
So let me guess. When we open the gate, enemies will be able to get through, or not.
So boring.
Fugitive
Okay.
spotted. Fugitive spotted. Commencing immediate termination.
I wish it was Terminator.
Okay, fuck
Oh
this.
no,
I'm
an
playing-
angry emoji face.
Okay, fuck this. I'm playing more Litton's Mystery Journey. Bye, guys.
Nope. You dragged us into this mess. You're dragging us out.
Ugh.
Or you can do that without announcing that to the entire world.
Now before anyone, now before
That's okay. That's okay.
Now before anyone says, but Jova, you're probably fine with the emoji robot faces in Dual Destinies.
Yeah,
Well, there's
yeah, you know
actually
what's-
a reason behind those faces in Dual Destinies, mind you.
Yeah. Speaking of that, by the way, you know what's sad? Like, right before we started today's session, I've actually shown Teo the first two cutscenes of Layton's Mystery Journey. In just 5 minutes, Hino made me care for the main characters more than the entire 15 parts of this game have.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what's sad? That's actually something that shouldn't be too hard. So many games have made it that you're endured by the characters in like the first 5 minutes. Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, heck, you could even make the argument that some people actually, that enemy still can't get you. You can actually make the argument that, heck, even maybe the characters in Final Fantasy VIII, for how you may have felt about them in the end, yet still felt like you wanted to get to know them well. Huh,
Yeah.
you got the preemptive strike, even though he was right in front of you. Like, what's even the point of having the enemy hump the wall trying to get at you when you still get a chance to strike them?
Well, the thing is, Joe, but the way the monster AI works is the moment the monster spots you, it runs immediately towards you.
Well, I get that. The thing is, like, well, you think that then he would have just bum rushed you, but no, he stopped and paused, despite that.
You still there, Shiro, by the way?
Yep.
Okay.
You haven't said much.
Because while this is going, well, can you blame her?
Sure,
well,
question. Are you at the phase of just cuddling yourself up and shaking, or are you at the point where you're in a corner and your only battle sanity is saying, this game is not that bad, this game is not that bad, even though you know deep down that it's a
by
lie.
drinking some tea, come on.
Okay. Well, okay.
There's that.
I was gonna start talking about this in the previous part, but I'll do this now. Okay, here's a little about who is my personal favorite localization director in the industry, Richard Mark Honeywood. Don't worry, we'll get relevant in a
Level
moment.
5, let me guess.
No, not just that, but also Square. He started out as a programmer at Square, but eventually he got promoted to the localization department, where he was the localization. Okay, you know how Ben Judd was the guy in charge of the localization of Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. Wait,
Because
Ben
of
Judd?
the-
Wow.
Well, remember, Joe, we established that in the playthrough we did, didn't we? I think we did.
I thought that was Alex Smith who was in charge of localizing.
Well, we know it was someone who went on to translate Ace Attorney.
Alex Smith did like the first Ace Attorney and then also did Final Fantasy VII, I believe.
Okay, fine, whatever. The point is, the point is, since Final Fantasy VII's localization was a bit spotty, not terrible, but spotty. You know, Eris, anyone? Right, so.
Yeah. I prefer
yeah.
Arif anyway.
So after
wasn't that also Ted Woolsey problems?
Well, actually, no. Ted Woolsey 6 was Ted Woolsey's last.
Oh, I thought he also worked a bit on 7. Whatever.
Poor Ted Woolsey.
What happened is after 7, and since now for the first time, well, they kind of had an audience in North America, but 7 was the series officially became a gigantic hit in the West. So Square
More
knew...
so over in Europe because, admittedly, yeah, the first 6 games.
Don't get me wrong, 6 and 4 and especially 6 were really popular in America, but they weren't the gigantic blockbuster that 7 was.
Oh, well, of course, because, well, they thought that our reaction to Final Fantasy V warranted that we get Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the game was just lacking in its own regard. No. You Westerners are all stupid. And also, that was the first Final Fantasy anything they gave you guys. I'm so sorry.
No. That's okay, Joe. That's no longer Square. Now it's Enix who does that. But that's a topic for another time. To be fair, we're now finally getting Dragon Quest 11. So
I can't believe we're actually getting
How
that.
long
It's
have we
like,
waited for that?
well, Shirai, that's the thing, Shirai. They announced the localization on the same day that the game released in Japan. You'd think they would start the localization before so they can have a more simultaneous release, but no.
it's
Anyway.
like they like playing with their fans' hearts. Like,
Yeah.
okay, how do we give them the
no idea,
biggest
Joe.
heart attack ever?
You have no idea.
It reminds me of a Sony E3 conference where we literally got Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then not too long after that, bam, Shenmue 3. It's like, dude,
It was
give me
immediately after, but yeah.
To give you an idea, Joe, there was a really cool spin-off involving Yangas, who's a fan favorite character from Dragon Quest VIII. But that game in Japan. But they made sure we got the shitty Wii Dragon Quest Swords game, which is basically a shitty first-person sword wing remote swinging game. They made sure we got that one.
And Capcom nowadays are doing stuff with Monster Hunter XX. Please bring that over to America. And
It's just a
more polished graphical version of the 3DS game, which was localized anyway.
Just to get back to what I was saying, Shirai, after 7, Square knew that they had to create their own proper internal localization department, so they could properly localize the games on time and shit. And Richard Mark Honeywood, who was already working at Square America as a programmer, he was hired to do the localization director of Final Fantasy VIII. And Final Fantasy VIII had a much better translation than 7.
Nice.
He also did 9 and 10, and 11 as well, if I remember correctly. However, after doing some Final Fantasy games, when Square merged with Enix, he got reassigned to Enix, considering Enix did not have any experience in localizing games. Well, Richard Mark Honeywood was put in charge of the localization of Dragon Quest VIII, and that, Shirai, is where the typical level 5 localization was originally born, because to make Dragon Quest localization stand out, Richard Mark Honeywood decided to go with British accents, considering every single other game out there was the one using American accents, and puns galore.
So, wait, hold on. So is that why the crossover got leaked because of Square Enix? Because Square Enix are kind of joined at the hip from Level 5, it sounds like, from that history lesson.
It's more so that Richard went from working at Square to working at Blizzard and then Level 5, but yeah, sure.
Huh.
Is it like an actual hit?
No,
Well,
it was an accident, I think.
Basically,
Or maybe it was a unfortunate accident, quote unquote.
Basically, I think it originated from Twitter, but apparently there was word, between a Square Enix employee and a Level 5 employee that Level 5 were developing the new Ace Attorney game. Oops. And the rest is history with the crossover.
Was very suspicious.
The Richard Mark Honeywood can be thanked for the great localization 8 and 9 got, and like in Dragon Quest 8, as the Dragon Quest 8 localization with the British accents, the voice acting, the replacement of the tracks with the orchestral versions from the Symphony album, and of course the puns galore and all that stuff, was praised by fans to the point where even when Richard, that's the light bulb puzzle thing, Jofa. Basically, what happens?
Okay. Go on.
Basically, it's a good thing you mentioned that because I should explain that. Basically, what happens is you have to open the right cell doors and keep certain ones closed to make sure you turn on all the light bulbs, all the red ones and all the blue ones. What that basically amounts to is, in order to turn on the red ones, you have to open the gate. In order to turn on the blue ones, you have to close the gate. What does that mean exactly? It means that, did you notice
You're going in and out, back and forth with the door just to get the right color code combination.
Well, fortunately, I know the right combination, so we wouldn't want to be here for long. What happens is, okay, notice how the top row is red and the bottom row is red. There's only the middle row that's blue. That means that we're supposed to open the gates that are to the left and to the right of each corridor, but only close the middle doors.
You know, this sounds like a very impractical prison.
Exactly, and it's kind of hard to figure out own because the solution is really obtuse. The game doesn't really give you any hints. It just tells you those lights have probably something to do with the doors, and that's it. But they don't tell you specifically what they do. But yeah, there you see. See, now that I've opened that door, that particular blue light got turned off. So I'm just opening the door specifically so I can free them first.
Of course.
But yeah, going back to what I was saying. Yeah, like I said. So yeah, after Richard Marconi did the Dragon Quest VIII localization, it was so positively received by fans that even when Richard left the company, the executives still order all the new localizers that came after him to say, copy Richard's style. And that's why Dragon Quest, even Dragon Quest Heroes, is still using the British accents, the puns, all that stuff. They're intentionally copying Richard's pioneering style.
So it's the Nolan effect on superheroes.
Kinda, yeah. What happened? After that, he went to Blizzard, where he was the global manager of World of Warcraft, and after that, he went to work for Level 5 to make Leighton Brothers, Nino Kuni. Now, recently, Leighton's Mystery Journey, which is why I still properly notice the script is much more pun-driven, particularly with Show's dialogue. That's Richard Marconi would at work too. And now Nino Kuni 2 is also being handled by him. So there you go, too.
Man's
now
been
Leighton
around a lot.
Leighton is now officially more level 5 than ever, thanks to Richard's funny writing. But he's actually my favorite localization director because I've had a long being a Square fan and I've had a lot of experience with him, and I really love his localizations. And I kind of wish he was the one in charge of this localization, because the localization in this game is also really dodgy. It's not like it ruins the game. You can tell this game is not just bad localization. The game is just terrible.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes to localization, is it really that bad, or is it just portraying the badness?
Arcry's Fantasia, Jova.
I'm talking about this game. Like, I mean, okay. Yeah.
Well, what I'm talking about is how a localization sometimes can ruin a good game, like what happened with Arcry's Fantasia.
And then there's times when they can improve a game. And then there's times when they can improve a game, like, say, Ace Attorney or Final Fantasy VI.
Mm-hmm. You see this rice bowl? Now it's a burger. Now
anyway.
It's a cheeseburger. Go ahead,
I prefer
Pedro.
burgers to rice anyway.
Okay,
Interesting.
All right, that was the random trivia. That was the random trivia of today. So now let's get back to the plot. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Joe.
Middle row, eh?
Yes, I've already figured it out, game. The middle row, huh? Hey, Tail, I wonder if the middle row is significant.
Let's go there and find out.
Oh yeah, actually, I think I'm right now trying to show off the fact that only those are. Yeah, I'm trying to specifically show off that. Yeah, here you go. Supposed to close that one. There you go.
So what do they do when they have to open a certain prisoner's cell? Wouldn't that technically offset the mechanisms of it and allow some prisoners to escape?
Jova, are you trying to imply to me that Sakaguchi did not give a shit when coming up with this part of the game?
Well, okay, no. Actually, I mean, I think it may be the opposite. I think they kind of overfought this one. Like, look, it's a neat puzzle and all, but for a prison regarding that...
There you go, see? I opened the doors that are not in the middle, and as a result, the light bulbs... what happened is... Actually, yeah, never mind. Sorry, guys, I screwed up. Let me get back. What happens is I'm supposed to turn off all the red bulbs so only the blue ones are on. That's what it is. Sorry, I misspoke there.
Right. I mean, it's an interesting enough puzzle, all things considered.
Allow me to disagree with you. Again,
anyway,
puzzles need to be conveyed. The logic of the puzzle needs to be conveyed to the audience, and it also needs to have a certain inner logic to it. Whereas this...
Oh, I get that. That's where I was going. If it's like, okay, on its own completely, this puzzle would be fine. The problem is, like, well, logically speaking, in the sense of, the story and premise itself, it makes no sense for a prison cell to have this sort of thing that says whether or not you open certain cell doors, because then that makes no sense in the overall scheme of things. Because then prisoners, by all means and logically, should be able to escape differently. Killer robots waiting outside or not. For all you know, they could be strong like these kids.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk good puzzle design? Here's an example. Hey, Teo. Here's puzzle 2 of Litton's Mystery Journey. We have a clock that's showing 3:30 p.m. Okay. We want the clock to show midnight. How many times do we need to touch the clock's hands to get it to show midnight?
2.
Wrong.
Oh.
Remember, Teo, it's a Litton puzzle. Remember, you have to think outside the box.
You just need to move one hand at a time. You move first the one of the minutes, and then the one of the hours.
That's the thing. See, the thing is, Teo, that solution is too obvious to be the one. You know that. Come on, you've played the series. You know.
Just one. You move the one of the minutes until you reach the hour.
0. You just wait till it's midnight.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's like giving the middle finger a new entire way of doing so.
It's kind of like the mouse puzzle from
it reminds me of the stench puzzle from Pandora's box, where you need to plug the nose instead of the tubes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the first puzzle of the movie.
I'm a big fan of Akira Tagawa's puzzles in the sense that I love puzzles that force me to have to think outside the box, and it's and because those to me are the most satisfying when I get right, because it's one of the that's the true hallmark of a great Litton puzzle. Like the solution is right in front of you.
That's why I'm so bad at them though, because I don't know solutions like that. I try to think.
For me, I'm just used to reading them, so for me, I'm used to reading them so I can process it properly, not seeing them, literally with the text, and it'll just throw me off.
Yeah, I understand that. Anyway, Hisato.
Nene will be here very soon.
Oops.
Nene?
Dun 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 dun. Hey, you opened the door and it didn't turn on the light bulbs. That's cheating.
Well, he's the big boss, I guess.
He doesn't have an eye patch, though.
What's that about?
True.
Wait, did somebody say
also,
a big boss?
Well, thank goodness
exactly.
I
What's
to switch between a fuck ton of key cards.
Well, I should tell you, in the big boss games, we fortunately don't have to do that, because...
Oh, well, what do you know? Nene's there.
I will go and distract them to buy you some time. You go ahead and save...
I'm just gonna go and try to stop Nene and get murdered. Bye, Shu!
Well...
Like I said, no, he doesn't get murdered.
Nah.
That's very good, Sakaguchi. You did not kill Hisato for emotional manipulation. I'm a gold star.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest, I'm liking Hisato more than the characters, because he's actually doing stuff done. He's not trying to do a situation that'll obviously get him killed. He actually is trying to reason with him. That's Huh.
The problem is that again, like I said, this is Nier Automata for babies. Like the concept of the consciousness thing of the robots is done so bare bones, and the game doesn't even bother to actually, properly flesh this out. So why should I care?
So this is the best a machine can do.
I hate you. Yes.
Wait,
thank you.
what?
Oh no! They killed Hisato! Sure, they killed Hisato! They killed Hisato!
But that's backward. I'm more confused than anything.
I'm confused. No!
I'm not. In this moment, I feel Knuckles.
Soup, salad, soup, salad. I'm confused.
Let's finish this right here and now.
Again with this.
Alright, guys, this is totally.
Yeah, sure, totally. What?
Refresh?
Okay, how are we gonna get out of this one?
Organ music. Change the pace. Also, Cook's the Damso.
Pedro, how are we gonna get out of this one?
Mow him down.
Pedro?
Jerking. Wait. Am I?
Nah, you're
We
fine.
can hear you now, but you cut out for a bit.
Oh, okay.
It was just
fine.
one bit there.
Okay, what I was saying was, why the hell was the camera jerking around at the beginning of this battle?
I thought you were doing it.
Oh my
no,
god!
that's a no, you cannot. Well, not that I've tried at least.
Oh my
but-
god! This is it! Finally it! And
No,
actually,
for the record, I don't know if the camera can be changed during the battles, but I can assure you, I don't try to do that at all. So, no, that was the game doing it.
oh my god, am I hearing this correctly? A musical track that properly combines creepy sounding organ with piano and now rock and roll, transitioning into that? My god, this sounds like the kind of genius I'd expect from Nobuo Uematsu. Shame it took us this long. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I like the regular battle theme and I like the boss scene, but when I really only like 3 themes in this, and only one of them sounds like the usual Uematsu genius, something's wrong here.
The problem is, Joe. Well, okay, actually, no, I don't. Lost Odyssey's great soundtrack aside, Uematsu, much like Sakaguchi, Uematsu has never really been the same since he left Square.
We'll never be able to get close to Nene.
So how are we gonna get out of this one?
I will say, however, I really liked his soundtrack for Fantasy Life. There's that.
I think the thing is, like, while he hasn't been the same, he's still kept a level of quality from what I've heard of his tracks outside of the Final Fantasy series.
See, the thing is, okay.
Has he had a
Well,
downward trend that I'm unaware of?
Well, again, like we said, this game, Lost Odyssey had a great soundtrack. I don't particularly care for the Last Story soundtrack. It's decent enough, I guess, but it's nothing remarkable either. The main theme is fine, but aside from that, I don't really. But yeah, as for that, I really like this work for Level 5 of Fantasy Life, and now I'm guessing he's probably doing the soundtrack for a sequel as well. Aside from that, what has he made recently? Well, his brilliant job for how is his music for Terra?
From what I heard, good enough.
And then let's not forget, Teo, his brilliant work for Fairbanks Raft. Okay. To be fair, I've looked it up, and the only tracks that Nobuo Uematsu made were the title screen, aka the main theme, and a specific battle theme. The rest was all done by the Earthbound Papas, whoever the hell they are. Kind of disgust made it. Yeah, this is kind of an endurance round battle. Don't you love those?
Jesus.
Someone's phone is vibrating.
Well, that's Discord.
Oh.
What? Oh, are you using mobile?
She's using mobile because her computer, her brother's computer decided to take the shit.
Notifications.
Alright, can we now save it? Save.
Why is the music gone? Something's
Also, allow me to remind you, everybody, that the primary female character was abducted off screen, and now we have to save her.
Does she get stabbed through with a long sword?
Wait, what? They're revolting.
They're not revolting, Teo. They're fusing together to make a gigantic mega robot.
So it's literally the ending of Matrix Path of Neo.
Yes. You see, Teo, what happened was, it's like when she played Path of Neo and they thought, there's something brilliant here.
So we're going to actually fight it, or he's just gonna run away?
We are gonna fight it, but only at the end of disc 2. Right now, we're just doing an escape cutscene.
Wait, we're escaping?
How we're managing to grab it? It looks like... whatever.
What?
And look at that, Teo. We made it to the ice continent.
Wait.
The geography of this world is more bizarre than the one in Eternal Sonata. And that's saying a lot.
Well, look at the bright side, Teo. At least there's not fan fiction moment where everybody's over everybody else.
Let me guess.
I won't give up!
Of course.
He said it! He said it!
Wait, hold on. Isn't Klook still in Nene's possession?
Yep.
Oh wait,
yes.
oh wait. Oh, that's right. They were all gathering around Nene.
Oh, that's right. The interspecism is back.
Uke.
Catch up to the Jumbo Mecha
Yeah.
Robo.
So the way this minigame works is, if you touch any of those robots coming in, you'll have to battle them. So try your best to avoid them. When you get close enough to the feet, you'll automatically attack the feet as you're about to. Basically, you have to do this twice. Once for each leg.
Okay.
And by the way, the frame rate takes a big dump on you during this section. Fortunately, since I'm playing on the Xbox One, we don't have to deal with that.
You have to take a dupe. I wish Metal Gear Rising.
Teo, we have to save Klook. Please be invested. We have to save Klook because she's an amazing character.
Also, he hit the exact same leg.
I care more for saving Princess Peach.
Well, Princess Peach is actually a character we've grown to care for over the series.
Let's get Klook.
You know, being like kidnapping, being
Well, it's more so for the fact that even though she technically does nothing, she at the very least has good intentions. She at the very least has good intentions of trying to thank Mario for saving her by giving him cake and shit. I mean, Klook doesn't even have that.
Ew, that's disgusting. So, what now?
Hey Shiro, look, it's Attack on Titan.
No
Oh.
way!
It's missing the awesome opening.
Attack on Robot Titan.
Klook!
Sorry, like not huge and that show.
What the?
So,
For a giant fat robot, it sure can jump high.
so,
Well, we've seen how fast I can.
Goodbye.
what about the robots back at the base?
Sorry, Jova, we kind of dropped that plot point.
What about Hisato?
He'll come back.
And we're just back to the war map like that. Okay.
And because pacing too. Anyway, basically, Jova, he kind of only shows up now at the ending, kind of. Well, actually, he will show up in the final dungeon of Disc 2 for a bit. But aside from that, yeah, he's pretty much dropped from the story.
So, question, was like every single robot assimilated into that giant robot, or?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see eventually. See you in the next part, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.